Money and the stocks that you invest in, they're not just numbers on a screen. They can help to determine your financial future. And with that, I want to take the time to answer the investing questions that you have asked on this here channel. So what I did is scroll back a few months and screenshot those questions, and I'm going to answer them here for free. All right, so let's go ahead and break it down. Now, I've been recording all day and you may only see 3 videos. That don't mean I do a whole bunch of takes. Okay, so I may sound a bit hoarse. I'm sorry. It is what it is. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the first question. What is the best stock to buy right now? Y'all know I got stocks everywhere, right? I just be pulling them out of my pockets for the best stock to buy right now. However, my favorite right now is an oldie but goodie. And if you know, you know what time it is. It's NRG season, okay? NRG is what I think is my best stock right now. It is up 71% in the last 6 months, up 84% over the last year. Long time subscribers of this here channel, which you should subscribe right now. This is your opportunity to do so. If you bought when I bought, you'd have made some money, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. I did a whole video about covered calls and all type of stuff. I think at that time I made a few $1,000s. Y'all saw the receipts. I'm still holding on to NRG, boy. And you know, it pays. It pays to be a subscriber and to be watching the videos through the end. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay? You be learning. And when you learn, you earn. All right, that's what my daddy say. All right, next question here is, this kind of somewhat of a combo question. My thoughts on SAP and Kroger. I'm not a fan of SAP stock. It's just, it ain't doing what I need it to do, okay? Anytime I'm looking at a stock, I'm always viewing it through what is the stock doing compared to what the stock market is doing. If I'm going to take a risk, investing in one individual stock is a risk because I can just go get an index fund and just let it do what it do, right? So if I'm gonna not do that, or say I have $100, I'm gonna just have $80 there and $20 in one stock, that's less money, right? So it needs to do better than what that other option is doing. That's opportunity cost. It ain't been the stock market. SAP is done, so no. The other option was Kroger. Right now, Kroger is a no. And that's just because Kroger right now is down 1%. Okay, negative 1% in the last 6 months and only up 16% over the last year. That's not gonna cut it. That's not gonna cut it for the risk that we're taking here. So negative 1% in 6 months after I just told you what NRG was doing, 71%. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, right? You only have a limited sum of money, as do I, as do most of us, right? Do you want, if you have an option between something that is made in 6 months, 71%, and something that's down -1, which one are you going to choose here? I think that choice is clear. Now, earlier this year, I think Kroger was a better choice, or at least, you know, better than what it is today. But this is why I stop every 6 months, sit down and reevaluate. So maybe things have changed, the tariff situation and a bunch of other stuff. It doesn't seem like Kroger is as good as it once was, right? And it tells us that because over last year it was up 16%, which is solid, but things have obviously started to fall off. Next question, Take-Two Interactive. You can see all the questions here, but the person was afraid and they were wondering, like, is it still safe? Now again, the question is a bit older. It's easier to answer this question today than what it was back at that point in time. Now at that point in time, I did a whole video of what my favorite stocks were. NRG was one of them. Take-Two was one of them as well. Guess what? I'll show you the chart here. Had you bought Take-Two when I did that video, you would have made money. Again, when you watch the videos through the end and you subscribe, you might earn, okay? I'm just, you know, I be knowing stuff. I be knowing stuff. Now, disclaimer, right, if you want to call it that, anytime that we do these are for you to add to your watch list and continue to research and see if they fit for your portfolio, okay? Because not everybody's investing strategy and everybody's portfolio is going to click with you specifically, right? And not everybody's going to hold for as long as I hold or whatever, right? Everybody's goals are different. But yeah, if you bought when that video came out and held it until, you know, I'm recording this on Monday the 29th, you would have made money on Take-Two Interactive. Now we'll see where it goes from now until, now to the end of the year or whenever. But at that point in time, yes, Take-Two would have made money. I'm never really concerned. Let me not say never. I'm rarely concerned with those in-between dips. The way that I manage that is that 6-month rule, right? I sit down, I buy, and I don't touch these things for 6 months for that reason. Because if I'm looking at it every day and I'm seeing these dips up and down and, headline here, CEO did this, tariff this, tariff that, I'm going to get spooked out of it. An example that I've mentioned here on the channel way back in May, y'all know I've been talking about Netflix a ton. About a year ago, I talked a lot about Netflix, and definitely earlier this year, I talked a ton about Netflix. Netflix is up more than 30% this year still, right? However, I had talked about Netflix, and the first time that the president had mentioned a tariff on movies, and I don't know how that's supposed to work, Netflix fell a lot that day. It wasn't my time to go through and reevaluate my portfolio because it was not June. If I was somebody who didn't have that rule, there's a chance that I would have saw that news, got scared, sold, and perhaps not have gotten the gain that I ended up having. Because that tariff at that point in time, did not happen. There you go. All right, so that's one reason why I do what I do, how I do it. The next one, we have a combo question. They want my thoughts on Oracle, Starbucks, and Costco. All three. So the first one, Oracle's good. Now, my question would be, why hasn't it popped up on my radar at any point before now? And I have a theory as to why, but it's up 93% in the last 6 months, up 67% over last year. So again, this goes back to why pick Kroger when I can choose Oracle? Why pick Kroger when I can choose NRG? I got way better choices here, right? I'm getting hoarse. You can see it now. So Oracle I think is solid. The reason why I don't think it's really popped up on that radar is because if you look at a chart for it, if I remember correctly, as I was researching this video, it took a huge pop up and just kind of stayed up there, versus what I prefer is a smooth, I mean, not say slow, but a smooth roller coaster up where it's just sustained excellence, as opposed to something weird or crazy happened that got it up there. So I would need to dig in deeper because I prefer to know the why. Why is it doing well? Why is it not doing well? The reason why I need to know that as an investor is, one, it shows me that I understand what I'm investing in. That's extremely important. You want to know why you're investing in something. And also, it helps me understand why something may go wrong. And also knowing why something is going well is also going to help me to understand, will things continue to go well if I know that underlying situation. So I would need to know why Oracle is doing well and what is helping the situation. Those are things I would need to know. So it's a yeah, but it's but why though? Right? So that is what I would need to know for Oracle. But yeah, I think it's fine. Next here is Starbucks. Starbucks is a no. Starbucks is a huge no, down 13% in the last 6 months, down 12% over last year. I'm not a fan of it. I haven't been a fan of Starbucks as a stock for at least 3 years, I think. They had the CEO from Chipotle to Starbucks, and I would argue, and I don't have the charts in front of me, I would argue both have been bad ever since. Chipotle used to be great, and that CEO left, and again, as mentioned, went over to Starbucks, and it hadn't clicked. And if I'm not mistaken, I think coffee is more expensive than it has ever been. I get an email about this. I be reading a lot, but it just has not worked out. I think it is tariff related, but again, I'll correct that on screen if it's not. So it just has not gone well for Starbucks at this point in time. Maybe they'll get it fixed. I hope they get it fixed. In my mind, it's fun to invest in a company that you see all the time and maybe you spend money at. There is a popular adage that I don't like, but people enjoy it, where you invest in companies that you spend money at. Target, Starbucks, Nike, that people love doing that. The problem is Starbucks, Nike, Target, all terrible stocks right now. They've been terrible for well over a year, especially Target and especially Nike. They have been garbage. That's not great. All right. And then moving on to the last one in that set is Costco. Costco is down 2% in the last 6 months and only up 2% over the last year. Now, this is not a stock that I would buy, but if I currently own it, which I do, this is a stock I would hold, and I am currently just holding on to it. Now, come December for me, I think this will be at least 3 to 4 years I've had Costco. I'll sit down and see whether I'm going to keep it. Here's the thing. This is a stock where I'm going to see the why that I mentioned earlier. I need to see why is Costco not outperforming the overall stock market. Is it because of tariffs? And what is the context? I need to compare Costco somewhat to a Walmart, look into the Walmart, into the numbers and see Walmart on Sam's Club. So see, is Sam's Club not doing well? Because that would be a one-to-one comparison. And then compare it to something like, I think it's called BJ's Warehouse. I know it's called BJ's, but I think it's BJ's Warehouse. In either case, compare it to something like BJ's and see, is it all of these stores that's doing this and not doing well? Or is it just Costco in and of itself? That's what I need to know, because this can either, because it's not down 12%. That is, if you lose 12%, you're going to need well over 12%. You're going to need more than 12% rather, just to break even. A 2% loss, if you even lose 2%, you can get back. I feel like you can get back relatively easy. But this could be an opportunity to buy what I think can be good quality stock at a relatively cheap price. But only if we know what the problem is. If you told me it's tariffs that's hurting this stock, or it's bad leadership, or something like that, then hey, I don't want no parts in it. The reason why I'm giving Costco a little bit more credence, and I'm saying absolutely no to Kroger, because you're like, well, Kroger was up double digits. Why are you giving Costco credit and you're just writing off? You're giving Costco credit and you're completely writing off Kroger. Those two things don't make sense. One, flat out, it could absolutely be a bias of mine. Flat out. Okay? I'm absolutely willing to give you that. But I'm also here to say Costco has a better history of showing profits as well as dividends than what Kroger has. Like, you put those two up on the screen and look at them side by side, Costco has a better history of making its investors money. That is why. So if this is just and the year is clearly not over yet, but if Costco just has one bad year, and I have the luxury of saying this because I've had it for a while, I might let you slide once. But that's about it. So we'll see. But for me, because I've had it for a while, I'm gonna wait till December, see why is this having a problem. Because if I'm just looking at the last 6 months, both Kroger and Costco, though the business models are slightly different, both are down, and they're both very close. So what is going on here? Why is it the problem? Those are the questions we need to ask for both. Neither one of them are a buy, though. Notice I said that. It's a hold for Costco. It's a no for Kroger. So we'll have to see for both. But if you want more stocks that you should consider buying and adding to your watch list, then these are the videos that you want to check out next.